So Palantir is just cratering, and although it's clear the future, Wall Street is screwing us because the game is rigged, and unfortunately guys like me don't have $300 price targets and told you not to buy the hype, so of course we're not doing you any favors either. And now some of you are frustrated because you bought that hype and are ready to sell now because Palantir seems to continue to crater every other day down further and further and further. So let's talk about the 3 things you must do to deal with this so you do not do something that you regret. And I will give you my price target for Palantir stock as well, which I'm sure is going to send some of you guys into a giant frenzy down in the comments. Just make sure you like the video if you like getting the truth without the hype, because that's exactly what you're going to get today. Now, if you're hoping for hype and for me telling you, don't worry, Palantir will be at $300 by summertime or something ridiculous like that, you're probably going to be disappointed in this video. And on the flip side, if you click looking for validation to sell because everything's just going to zero and the world is ending and the stock market's collapsing or whatever, you're probably going to be disappointed too. We're about solid investing and wealth building based upon fundamentals, not hype, not noise, not fear, not anything else like that. The stock market, and especially growth stocks, are an emotional roller coaster you don't have to ride. There's a way to never get on the ride in the first place, and I don't mean by not owning a stock. You can own the stock and never actually get on the ride. So let's walk through exactly how to do that, and we're going to talk about Palantir specifically. Now, I bought, and I know many of you guys bought Palantir in the $7 range, the $10 range, the $15 range, even in the $20 range just last August. And then Palantir ran up to $125 just 6 months later. That is crazy. That is ridiculous. That is an incredible 6x return in 6 months. And no, I'm sorry, that is not normal. That was not based upon fundamentals, and a pullback was coming. I mean, we were discussing it right here on this channel. We were obviously talking about it in my Discord group there. We were basically saying, hey, when is this thing going to correct back down? The moment it shot up to those crazy levels, it wasn't a question of if it was going to crash back down. It was a question of when. I'm sorry, but history tells me in the stock market that when a growth stock overshoots that far and that fast for no real good reason, I loved earnings, guys. You guys know that. But that doesn't mean that they didn't still outrun the fundamentals the stock price did. It's going to correct back down, and it has fallen along with many other stocks that shot up to right around the same exact time. So how the heck do you deal with this wild roller coaster that Palantir has been on that basically seems to make no sense and jerks your emotions from elation, I'm going to be super rich, this is great, it's going to keep going to the moon, and then basically to this fear and this feeling of despair, just, oh my gosh, I've lost so much money, or whatever the case is. How do you deal with all that? Well, I got you covered, as it's really not that complicated, since there are only 3 things you must have to deal with this roller coaster and see your long-term thesis on a stock like Palantir actually play out and win the game of investing in a stock like Palantir. And then I'll give you my price target for Palantir and everything else. But remember, I've been doing this for over 25 years and I have seen this a million times. What's going on with Palantir right now is nothing new. It's nothing unusual. And the method I use to deal with it, so I don't even get on the roller coaster in the first place, is tried and true. So first, you must have a defined, written out plan. You must do this for every stock you own, but especially a stock like Palantir. You have to have your written out plan for it so you know exactly what to do if the stock goes up to crazy levels, or if it goes down to stupid low levels, and everything in between. It is much easier on you when a stock goes parabolic or drops like a rock, when you can basically refer to a plan that was made with no emotions, just analysis of the stock, how it fits kind of in your portfolio with your goals and your situation overall. And let me give you guys some examples here just to kind of illustrate it straight from my group. We had members that sold basically right in the 120, all the way up to 124, I think was the best sell that I saw there in the group, because that was their plan. They had a plan in one instance to basically, they were going to pay off their house when Palantir got up to about $100 per share or so. That was kind of the number they felt that they needed. Whenever Palantir got there, they would use that money to then pay off their house. Well, it went there, so they executed and paid off their house. Despite the fact they didn't want to part with the shares, but that was part of their plan, so they executed. We had others where basically their entire portfolio had a balance where they would basically, once it got to that certain level, they would basically convert it to real estate and retire and live off the cash flow. And because Palantir and a couple other stocks ran up so big, they sold them and executed to that next phase in their life. None of those folks, and there was other examples too, none of those folks that decided to sell, they didn't time anything. They simply followed their plan that happened to coincide with the top of this run in Palantir. That is what planning is all about. It is not about timing the tops and the bottoms, because nobody can do that. I don't care what anybody says on YouTube or anywhere else. It's fool's gold. It's total trash. It's about eliminating emotions that have you selling at the bottom to save your retirement instead of buying more like you should back in 2022. And it's about eliminating those greedy emotions when you hit your goals to transition to the next phase in life, like a lot of those folks did just a week ago. Even if the possibility that the stock continues to run, you basically execute and move on with life, and don't let those greedy thoughts come in that, oh, well, maybe I could buy a nicer house. Maybe I could do more in retirement with that stage. No, you execute and you move on. And that's exactly what they did. And you see the results of that. Planning allows you to avoid both of those disasters and actually secure your future instead of letting emotions run the show and destroy your future. Have a plan and win, or don't have a plan and lose. It really is that simple. Okay, so second thing you must do is actual due diligence on the stock. You do this simply so you know exactly what you own. And let me give you guys a little bit of an example here as to how I know kind of what somebody's due diligence or lack of due diligence is on a stock. How can a stock be the best thing ever when it's going up and then be a money pit loser or a scam or Wall Street screwing me whenever it's going down? Anytime I hear either one of those two things happening or both of them happening, I know somebody did not do actual due diligence on a stock, but instead got excited about a stock based upon a YouTube video or an article or what a buddy told them or whatever. I know what the long-term opportunity is for Palantir and every single stock that I own. I put in the work on those stocks, so I have no question as to where they are going long-term. So I don't care what is going on in the short term at all, up or down. It doesn't freaking matter to me. I have confidence that I know where that stock is going over the long run. I mean, if you don't know how to do that, and if you are actually serious about building real wealth and want to work directly with me to achieve that, then take advantage of the March Madness sale down in the pinned comment down there, where I have 5 free courses that walk you through everything step by step. And we have free live coaching as well to help you even further. And of course, you can work directly with me as I do live Q&As. Obviously, you can jump on my DMs. You can post anywhere in our Discord there, and not just have myself, but our other experts as well give you great answers to questions that you may have as you learn to do evaluation, as you learn to create your plan, create your goals, all those sorts of things. We are all there to help. And if you don't have cash to buy the dip, well, we got you covered from start to finish on how to create an infinite money loop starting today so you can buy every dip. And if you want a rock star group of investors to just basically lean on for help, a little bit of support, we got that too. You got full access to me about anything. I don't care. Ask me about my dating life. Yeah, I know it's not exciting. It really doesn't exist. But hey, you want to ask me? I'm there. But when it comes to stocks, it's a lot more exciting than that. So make sure you check out the pinned comment, see if our membership's right for you. And remember, before you go blasting me about having a group, I have absolutely no sponsors on this channel. I don't take them on. Here, I'll put it right up on the screen. This is exactly what YouTube pays me. And of course, look at that pay. That's not even enough to pay the rent where I live because somebody else pays my mortgage. And yes, we have a course on that as well as to how to live for free. Yep, that's right, guys. We got a course on that too. So make sure you check out the pinned comment. I got it. You may not be interested in my group. I totally get it. Then you need to Google how to do due diligence. Watch videos right here on YouTube. And I'm not talking about watch a 10-minute video about why Palantir is great. I mean, a video on how to do due diligence on a stock. Take a course down at a local community college. Do something to learn it, because full due diligence on a stock is critical to your success. Not a shortcut, not a screener or any of these other things that are pitched out there for you to buy. Learn how to actually do it so that way you can have success. And finally, you must have worked out an actual valuation for Palantir. Now, this valuation has to be based on actual revenue, actual earnings, actual guidance, and other metrics so you know exactly when the stock is overvalued or undervalued. It cannot be based upon hype or hope or I think or trillions this or trillions that or any of the other ridiculous things that get pitched out there all across social media land. It has to be based upon solid fundamentals. And for those of you guys out there thinking, no, you got to be way ahead of all that sort of stuff. You can't wait for the fundamentals to be there. It hasn't held true in the history of the stock market. I heard the same exact thing about Palantir and Tesla and a lot of other great stocks in 2021. And guess what happened? They all returned back down, actually below fair value, if you can believe that. And I heard the same exact thing starting to creep up again in regards to the stock market. And every single time the stocks get hot like that, that's what people say. And I know then it's overvalued and it's going to come back down because they're not basing it upon those fundamentals anymore. This is exactly what I do for every stock that I own, and I do it each quarter as the numbers change because they change quarterly. So when Palantir went down to $20 for a very short time there in August, I knew it was a great price since it was below my price targets that was set based upon valuation, not based upon hype and hope and future or anything else of that nature, based upon valuation. And then whenever I bought it then, and then it shoots up to 60 and then 80 and then almost 125. And we all kind of get that feeling that you're missing out on this rocket ship. And I wish I would have bought more. If you hadn't built out a position at all, you're really starting to feel that FOMO. And that just gut feeling is just telling you, man, I've got to buy this stock. Look at it. It's just incredible. And everybody's out there, $300 is reasonable and all that other trash like that. You can basically look back at my valuation or at your valuation and know that it's FOMO instead, and you need to remain disciplined and patient. And please don't fall for the idiots down in the comment section that for some reason think that me saying that I'm buying at $7 or $15 or $25 was a bad idea instead of buying the hype run at $70 or $125 was somehow better instead. I mean, you can't make this stuff up, guys. This is the stuff that I see. I read the comments all the time, even on other people's videos. Sometimes I read them, and that is the crazy logic that people use. And it's the exact logic of someone who didn't buy when the valuation was low for whatever reason, not criticizing, it happens to us all, but they didn't buy then. And they want to instead have you buy and have you justify buying when it's overvalued by somehow agreeing that buy low instead of buying overvalued is a bad idea. You don't want to buy low, you want to buy when it's overvalued. We get kind of into that groupthink as retail investors, and that's why we routinely buy high and sell low. And you have to fight that. If you don't have those three things we just talked about defined and laid out for Palantir, you are absolutely going to be on an emotional roller coaster, which always ends in disaster and mistakes. So what is my price target for Palantir stock? Well, here it comes, guys, and some of you aren't going to be happy, but I believe in fundamentals, and that has proven true again and again and again with Palantir. This was true in 2021, and why I didn't buy the hype back then. It was a great company, an incredible opportunity, but I didn't buy because the fundamentals and the valuation told me not to buy. And then the fundamentals and valuation said the exact opposite. And instead, those fundamentals and valuation said buy for most of the last 3 years. 3 years, guys. So you had plenty of time to build out an incredible position under $10. And even if you were a little bit late, you could have built out a position under $20, all of which I would consider really, really undervalued today if you could get those shares again at those prices. Now, I don't think we'll see those prices again, but if you could, I would consider all those to be significantly undervalued today. But unfortunately, the stock is not undervalued today at its current level. So of course, that means my price target isn't going to be anywhere near this. Now, also keep in mind that I already have a full position. And when you have a full position plus bonus shares, it allows you to be a lot more conservative than someone who doesn't have a full position and is basically starting, from zero, or is just, they got it halfway built out and they're looking to fill it out, whatever the case is. But I can't speak to that. I can only speak to my situation. So my price target to buy more shares and where I'm looking to add more shares is $49.69. And that's based upon the last earnings call that we have and the guidance that we got from Palantir for the next year in regards to where they see Palantir going over the next year. Yeah, I agree. I think they sandbagged it. I thought it was a great earnings call, but that right there is where I can put the price from a fundamental standpoint. And in the end, stocks always return back to fair value. There's never been a time in the history of the stock market where a stock went to the moon and never returned back to that level. It's never happened. And I'm sorry, as great as I think Palantir is, I don't believe it's going to be the first time in the entire history of the stock market it's going to happen. And if you want to go step by step with me and have somebody help you through this entire process that we just talked about today, so that way you're ready to take advantage of a stock like Palantir down in the $7 range, instead of having to play the game that you got to play right now with it, make sure you check out the pinned comment, take advantage of the March Madness sale where you get all that. You get 5 free courses, you get free coaching, you get to be a part of the best 6, 7, and 8-figure Discord out there. Get, 3 videos, 4 or 5 videos or so a week from me directly that never see YouTube. Obviously, be able to talk to me anytime you want. Jump in my DMs. You can jump on our live Q&As. You can just post right there in our Discord. Guys, there is so much involved in the group. My watch list for price target. See all my buy and sell alerts in real time. So much. Just check out the pinned comment. See if our membership's right for you. And click this video here if you want to see exactly what I'm buying in this market. And click here to see my exact plan for this market. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.